Hello and welcome to the Manifest to Live Life Golden Show. This is season 2, episode 6, learning to no longer allow your negative emotions to control you and manifest from your power. I'm going to help you to navigate this emotional field in a different way today, to expose to you what's happening when you are giving your power over to your negative emotions. So this is anger, it's fear, it's anxiety, it's stress. It's all the things, these emotions that you tune into that take you out of the game. They take you out of your joy, they take you out of your well being, and they don't allow you to live a life of goodness, of greatness, of betterness, of putting yourself in a frequency that continues to give wonderful things back to you. You are a reflection of everything you have going on inside. And up until this moment, you have very much maybe believed that you had no control over it, that you had no control over your thoughts, that you have no control over your emotions because you've never been taught that you do. And if you've been with me for a while on this podcast, YouTube channel journey, you know that you do have control over it. But if this is the first time you're ever listening to me, I'm going to reveal some things to you that you really need to know and some things that are going to radically change your life if you believe me, if you actually take this information and start applying it to the life you live. You have to give up victimhood. I've said this many times. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You're not a victim of your emotions. You're not a victim of your past. You are no longer a victim to anything. Once you have these realizations, now you get to make choices. And those choices have to do with the frequencies that you tune into. It's just like a radio station. When we make a decision to tune into thoughts and emotions that bring us down certain roads, it absolutely is a choice. Now, when you have a strong emotional response to something, which we call a trigger, you may not feel like you do. You may not feel like you have any chance whatsoever to take your power back. So I am doing another abundance activation. It's a 21-day journey that we're going to go on WhatsApp, and that starts May 1st, 2023. And I highly suggest that you do this with me. And this is the reason why. First of all, it's going to help you to create a very solid meditation practice. So it's 21 days. I give you a meditation every single day that goes with the activity. The activity is just 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you want to put into it. It's writing prompts. It's a way to get in touch with the things that will start to tune you into abundance. Now, abundance isn't just money. It's a frequency. It's a feeling that actually leads you to more money. So the better you feel, the more abundant your life can become. So with that, in that, knowing that there are ways that we can tune our frequency every day, we can tune the energy of how we feel every day by what we decide in the morning. I say this all the time, like the morning is your greatest time to start deciding and intending for your day. If something less than optimal happens first thing in the morning, you're most likely going to have a bad day if you don't know this stuff or you don't apply it, because you give yourself over, you give your power over to your circumstances or one little thing that happened. You create a story around it that continues a frequency, that continues to dial you in to an emotion that doesn't allow you to create any sort of joy or feeling of being relaxed or feeling of, feeling better, of feeling good, of feeling relief. All of those feelings are in the higher spectrum, the higher ends of our emotional field that allow us to create more energy like that. The lower negative emotions, the more we tune into them, the more we give into them, the more we will feel them, and life will give us more reasons to feel that way. That is law of attraction dialed in. It works positively, it works negatively. It works on what you are focused upon within your very own self, within your very own emotional field. Think about the field. We talk about the quantum field a lot, right? The quantum field is basically like everything that is around you. It is your ability to create, and it is your ability to bring things to you based on the signal that you're sending out. And that signal is based on your emotions, how you feel Emotions are energy in motion. So if you wake up in the morning or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're tuning into anxiety and you're thinking about all the things that you are worried about, you are putting yourself, your emotional field, in a field, your quantum field, in a field of anxiety. Nothing else can come to you that will make you feel better when you're that angsty, when you're that upset. So I actually looked up negative emotions, and these were some that I got: anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame, anxiety, self-conscious emotions. So anything that makes us feel self-conscious or yucky about ourselves. Boredom, basically any emotion that you don't like feeling. It doesn't give you a feeling of upliftment. It doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you feel worse and worse and worse. And that is the challenge with law of attraction is, it's based on your state. It's based on your mood. Every day we have a certain mood that we feel. Maybe you're not feeling, maybe you're just feeling okay, right? Like maybe a little bored, like maybe a little humdrum, like you're kind of sick of the minutia, and you wake up and you're just feeling like, kind of disgusted with life, right? What do you think life is going to bring to you when you feel that way? So you've got to gain control. You've got to start creating a foundation that you can follow that will tune you into better things. Gratitude is always like a number one, but I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to give you a list of things that actually pull your vibration down, that pull you into these negative emotions. And then I'm going to give you a list of what you can do to overcome this, counteract anything that is, of a frequency that you don't want to be in. The thing about this frequency thing is, especially if you've been at this for a while, like if you've been in a certain frequency for a while, let's say you've been depressed for a few months, let's say you've been, you've had anxiety for a couple of years, right? Let's just say you've got this frequency that you've been tuning into for a long time. There's momentum with that. So this isn't like an overnight, everything's going to be great and you're going to feel wonderful thing. It's a moment by moment thing where you're going to have to work on what you're focusing on, and it's a practice. Just like I talk about meditation being a practice, this is a practice as well, of realizing that you have control over what you're tuning into, and then not just having the awareness, because the awareness doesn't really do a lot, but learning how to choose so that you're not creating these momentums of really crappy thinking and really crappy creating. Okay. All right. So there's a couple things that you need to realize first. You got to get a hold on this emotional field if you want to be a powerful creator. That's a number one. So awareness around the thoughts that drives these emotions is the very first step. We have to figure out, okay, what is the first thought that I tune into? So I always share meditation as like a number one to help you gain control over your emotional field. And I know, especially if you tend to believe you're a super anxious person and you tend to believe that your mind is out of control and you don't have any control over it. If you believe those things, you will have trouble meditating, because you first have to believe that you can do it, and you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. I have trained hundreds of people in the ability to meditate, and it's a practice, and it grows over time, and it becomes more over time, and it will become something that you will not want to live without. Recently, I'm really into alpha state meditations, which are on YouTube. They're the Silva Mind Method. If you look up Silva, just Jose Silva meditations, you'll find them on YouTube. They're great. They're like 20 minutes. Just puts you in the alpha state. It trains you how to be in the alpha state. The alpha state is basically what you're kind of in when you wake up in the morning and right before you fall asleep at night. It is zero state awareness. It's where everything is created from. It is blissful when you find it, because you don't need to be thinking about anything. You can just be in the moment and just soak into this energy of higher consciousness. When you get into higher consciousness more and more and more, that's when you're going to hit intuitions. That's when your creative juices are going to start flowing. That's when you're going to start gaining control over this emotional field. It's fantastic. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It will start to change the game within like 3 or 4 days if you commit to it, I promise. 21 days, your life won't even be recognizable, because you won't be recognizable. You will literally have let go of this old identity and these beliefs that you don't have any control over anything. And you absolutely do. You have control over the signal that you send out. You have control over the thoughts that you tune into, the thoughts that the stories that you tend to believe, right? All right. So awareness around the thoughts that drives the emotions. So we got to get in tune with that. We got to get in touch with that. And we've got to recognize, instead of just being in this, 60,000 thought thing where your mind is just like racing and making you think about things, you got to start taking deep breaths and you got to be aware of, what am I thinking about right now? And do I need to be thinking about this thing right now? Because the need to think about things that progress your negative emotions, the need to do that is an addiction. It's like anything else. You're addicted to thinking these thoughts that drive emotions that create chemical downloads in your body. There's some reasons for that, and I'm going to give them to you, and you might not like what I have to say. In fact, some of you may tune out of this show because it's real and it's honest and it's the truth, and you need to hear it. You really need to hear it. We all need to come in contact with the truths that are driving our lives in directions that we don't want to drive anymore. We have to connect with that truth, because in order for us to really become aware and to become powerful creators, we have to become honest with ourselves. If you're doing things and you're in denial, you're not a powerful creator, because you're not really taking a handle on what's creating all of it, right? So we got to wake up. We got to be powerful. We got to really connect with ourselves and be honest with ourselves. All right. So emotions are addictive because they download chemicals, hormones, all sorts of things like adrenaline, cortisol, all these things that we get a little addicted to. And I think some of the reasons why we get addicted to them is, one, they kind of make us feel like we matter. If we're feeling dramatic, if we have dramatic things going on, we're feeling anxious, maybe that's a call for attention. Maybe that's one way that we get attention. That was a big way that we got attention when we were younger, right? Crying, screaming, temper tantrums. If you had parents that gave into that stuff, that's what you learned. That's the belief system that you have, is that if you put up enough of a fuss and you're in enough negative emotion, you will actually get attention. You will get what you want. And that is a disservice. It's an absolute disservice to yourself, to the people around you, and to the life that you're trying to create. So those are old stories, old beliefs. Tune into the Golden Hour tomorrow at noon Pacific. I'm going to be on E360 TV. If you go onto E360 TV and you search for Achieve TV, you'll find the Golden Hour there. They are archived. The episodes are archived. Or you can go to Manifest to Live Life Golden YouTube channel. They're also going to be live there, and at the Golden Hour on Facebook. I believe it goes live there as well. You want to check out that show, because I'm going to give you some secrets, some universal truths tomorrow that are going to hit really, really deeply. And it's just going to be a progression of this show, but also a progression of, some of the things that you have grown up with that don't serve you anymore, that absolutely need to go. So tune into that. That's my new show. I'm on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon, and I'm having a good time. Thursdays, I have guests on. This week, I'm going to have my incredible neighbor, Becky Prather. She's a family law attorney, and we've had a lot of discussions about divorce, separation, custody battles, and how people need to take their power back in these positions, and how we can create peace and love and energy in our relationships that are ending, and do it really amicably and really peacefully. And so she'll be on Thursday. So I'm really excited to share what she has to say about families navigating through divorce and healing from divorce. Absolutely. She's definitely an expert. So, okay, so you often get a payoff for your emotions. So it could be attention. It could be an excuse not to move forward in your life. Hello, anybody doing that? Like, oh, I'm so depressed, I can't exercise, or oh, I'm so depressed, I can't I can't create a business right now. I can't and I get it. When we're feeling this way, we don't feel like we can be uplifters. We don't feel like we can reach out and become more of something when we feel like less. And that's why this conversation is super duper important, because you've got to stop doing that if you want to expand and grow. If you want to move forward in your life and up level from the place that you're in right now, you've got to start tuning out of the belief that you're not good enough, the belief that you're unworthy, any of those beliefs that are getting in the way of what you say you want to be, they have to go. Those stories have to go. All right, so you've lived your whole life not having a lot of awareness or having the belief that you have any control over your emotions or your thoughts. So the first thing you have to do is believe that. And I know it's a big one because if you've never heard this before, it's like a shock. I know when I first realized this, I was reading the book by oh boy, let's see if I can actually remember what book this was. Untethered. I think that's the name of it. Oh, geez. All right, I'll put it in my notes, I promise. But that book really made me realize, oh my goodness, these thoughts are not me. I am not my thoughts. I can separate myself from my thoughts, which means I can start to choose them. And because we have 60,000 thoughts a day, it's hard to believe that you can create a little bit of space in there and start having a choice. But I promise you, you absolutely can. So, in knowing this, okay, in knowing this, you have thoughts and beliefs that are connected to the shitty committee. And I did put up episode 58 is my shitty committee episode, which you definitely want to listen to if you haven't heard it yet. The shitty committee is basically self-critical voice inside that makes you feel like you can't do something, like you're not good enough. It's that voice that tells you all the time that you're not powerful. It's the voice that tells you that you're not good enough. It's the voice that tells you that you're not a creator. It's the voice that tells you that you're fat. It's all those beliefs that are connected to those thoughts that came from life experience, from other people. A lot of them came from, our parents that were not conscious, that didn't really know how to inspire us to our greatness, teachers, just influential people in our lives, our peers, our siblings, people that we regarded, and they gave us a story about ourselves and we started to believe it. And that becomes this committee inside of us that is always trying to get us to not expand and grow. It is always trying to get us to stay safe, to stay the same. So in knowing that there is this self-critical voice and separating yourself from it and realizing that's not me, that's not who I want to be, you start to gain some control. And that is super important. All right, so you have habits and neural pathways that are well trained in driving thoughts that drive these emotions. So that's why we have to first create some sort of awareness around our thoughts. If somebody does something, let's say, just for example's sake, let's just say you have a friend that you were supposed to meet for coffee, and this person texts you half an hour, 15 minutes before and cancels on you. Now you have a choice in that moment to make up a lot of stories. You could make up stories about her or him. You could make up stories about yourself, but there's a belief that's going to come to the table and you have a choice to believe it. Okay. That choice can be like, nobody wants to hang out with me. I suck, whatever this shitty committee is saying. If you want to have control over that situation, you just say, oh, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be today. I wasn't meant to be with this person today. Possibly, potentially, we are at a different vibration. We're not vibing on the same plane, especially if they're a negative person and you just started becoming positive. You're not going to match up with these people anymore. And this is probably one of the biggest things when you start to awaken spiritually is your life will downshift a little bit in the friendship department because there's going to be people that you are used to hanging out with that aren't going to be a match anymore. And the universe will either start to take them away in different ways, or you'll not want to hang out with them, or weird things will happen and you won't get together. So keep that in mind, because that doesn't mean you're shitty. That doesn't mean that you're not lovable. It just means you're not a match anymore for those people. So pay attention to that. If you're telling stories to yourself that don't align with your expansion and growth, but push you back down, right? Hold you back under the water of feeling not good enough, it's time to look at that. It's time to take a look at that. And I have the exact way for you to take a look at things like that. All right, so you have stories and beliefs that help support your negative emotions. So somebody cancels on you, you have a belief that nobody wants to be with you, right? You're not lovable. look at that belief, because that belief is going to drive more energy in your life. It's going to drive and it's going to give you more evidence to feel that way. It's easier to be mad than work on yourself sometimes, right? Like it's just easier to be pissed off. It's easier to just be in your negative emotions. Sometimes it feels good, right? Like sometimes that feeling of anger and um just being mad at people, sometimes we like that. Why do we like that? Because it's downloading all this like hormones inside of our body, and sometimes it makes us feel powerful if we yell at people. And the truth is that's very false. The anger and the all that stuff that you're feeling, yes, maybe sometimes it could create action. They say there's anger in action. There's action and anger. Sometimes it can do good. Like sometimes you could actually create boundaries for yourself. You could tell people that you're not going to put up with stuff anymore. So sometimes it's not a terrible thing. When it becomes not a great thing is when you're doing it a lot. When you're in it a lot and you're feeling resentment a lot, you're going to be getting a lot of evidence back to you that you're feeling that way. And then it's not going to help you to actually create change in your life. You never knew you had a choice. So you never knew you had a choice of these emotions. Like what? And a lot of people, and you may be one of them, are afraid to actually make that, that take that power in their lives and say, I am in charge, because that means we got to get to work, right? That means we have to focus. That means we have to tune out of these terrible feelings. That means I have control over this. I get it. It's reaped in our society that we label people as having mental illness. And because we do that, we don't empower people. We absolutely give them a label that disempowers them every single day of their life, and they don't have a chance to rise above it. Hang on. Choking a little over here. Ooh, that was truth. And sometimes the truth is hard to hear. So you may not be ready for that. You may not be ready to take your power back from whatever illness you're experiencing. You may every day wake up and give your power away because you believe that's what you need to do, and you don't want to necessarily, or not even want to. You don't feel ready to take that kind of responsibility on. But what I'm telling you right now is you have the ability to do it. You have the power. You can take your power back at any moment you decide. And I have exact ways every day that you can place yourself in the greatest potential to create the greatest mood, to create the greatest creations, to create the greatest day, the greatest life, all of it. And it comes from these incremental awarenesses and activities and little things that you can do to continue to tune yourself into something better. I see this all the time with people, and I just ran that 21-day abundance activation. As we tune ourselves, things just get better and better. As we tune ourselves, we can tune ourselves into the greatness of life. We can tune ourselves into the best stations, the best music, the best nature, the best sun, the best everything. And it doesn't have to be circumstantial. It doesn't have to come from outside of us. It all begins within. We've been dealing with this crazy weather in California, and there's been now we're in like this marine layer that's insane. And so it's not really sunny. It's not this like everyday California sun that I'm so used to. In fact, even before, when we would have this gloomy day, it would burn off by 11 or 12. We would always get that vitamin D, like couple hours, and now we're not. And I woke up this morning and I was like, and it was gloomy all day yesterday. Saturday was beautiful. We had some sun on Saturday. Yesterday, we had a little tiny bit of sun at the end of the day. And I just decided this morning, I'm like, this won't define me. This won't define my mood today. This won't define my Monday. I'm going to be happy. That's it, right? Like serenity now. But I just made that solid decision this morning. And I have had issues with this in the past, with this gloomy weather, just like laying on top of me. I just feel different, like energetically. My head, I have all sorts of things that I normally tune into because I have a belief that this gloomy weather sucks. But the truth is, the gloomy weather, when it leads to sunshine, creates more capacity for joy. And that is the truth about your life and any negative emotion you're in. When you stop feeling that way, your capacity for joy is more. And so that's where I want to take you today, is from that negative emotion to the place where you can start to feel the joy again. All right. You have wounds that need healing in order to gain some sort of control. So that's the triggered stuff. I'm going to give you a little thing to do with that. And the last one, and this also may lose me some listeners. You are attracted to substances that may be putting you in a low vibrational place. Now, when I say this, I say it with love. I say it with total understanding and total compassion. We've got these substances in life. I'm going to just deal with weed and alcohol because I don't really want to get into all the other things. But from my experience, and that's why I want to talk experientially, these things tune you into a lower vibration. So this is the belief. The belief, I think, that drives the activity of smoking pot or drinking alcohol is that it will make me feel more relaxed. It will tune me into a different state so that I feel better about life, right? Like that's why we do stuff like that. So when we do it from that perspective, and maybe we're already in a low place, what it's going to do is it's going to tune you into that low place even deeper. Now, you may have relief for a little bit, and sometimes we need that relief, right? Like we just need to feel a little bit better, and we're doing this thing to help us to feel better. What ends up happening across the board with weed and alcohol is it tunes you into lower vibrations. So once you're up and then you come down, you're going to be lower than you were before. And it activates energy in your body because there is a toxic substance in your body. Your body has to deal with that now. So it's not available to inspire your cells to grow and be healthy and optimal and place your neural pathways in a way that allows you to connect with joy and gratitude and love and all the good stuff. So it's going to it's going to hold you down. Now, I still drink alcohol. I'm very careful about how much I drink because I know this. And actually, I'm laying everything on the table. I drank on Friday night. I had a glass of rosé, and then I had a glass of red wine because we were eating filet, and we like red wine with filet, which I haven't done in a really long time. And I felt like total crap on Saturday morning. And I was like, wow, that was not worth it. That was not worth it. So then I put red wine away. Like, I'm not going to drink that anymore because I don't like the way it makes me feel. For some reason, rosé does not do that to me. And I've been very mindfully drinking. However, I will say after a weekend of drinking alcohol, I wake up on Monday morning and I'm not as clear as I like to be. I'm not as like fine-tuned to the higher vibrations. I got to work a little harder to get there. I had to make strong intentions this morning to bring you this show, to be clear, to be, just from having a little bit of alcohol, not even a lot. So I'm aware of that. And I'm looking at that in my life. I'm getting real curious about that in my life. I'm ready to just kind of let it go for a little while so I can get back into the higher states of vibration, because that's where I want to live, right? Isn't that where you want to live? In the higher states of vibration? So when it comes to weed, this is the one thing that I've noticed about it. You will feel relaxed from it, yes, but it gives you a shorter fuse. And I've seen this across the board with everyone that I know. Unless you stay high all the time, then you may not see this, right? Like Snoop Dogg. Your fuse will be shorter and you'll have less patience. And I have seen this in my life, in other people's lives. I've seen it. Now, I haven't smoked in, oh my goodness, like 25 years, but I was conscious of how it brought me lower in my life. It also created fear and shame because I was like, I gotta have this substance in my life to like operate. I mean, it just didn't really, it didn't support the life that we wanted to live, my husband and I, that we really wanted to create and be powerful creators. This is the other thing that alcohol and weed do, is they slow down your manifestational abilities because you don't have the same energetic focus when you're trying to like clear up from that stuff, right? So it's going to mush up your brain. It's not going to create these clear pathways to expansion and growth. It's going to slow down your manifestational abilities. So just keep that in mind. And if you feel a little out of control with that stuff right now, I'm going to highly, highly, highly suggest that you do a 30-day cleanse, just 30 days, and see how you feel. Because if you keep driving the same activity, you're going to keep getting the same result. So when you take a break for 30 days, you can see, is this thing really causing detriment in my life? If you don't take a break from it, you won't know that. And then you're going to take this substance and whatever it's doing to you, and you're going to believe that's who you are. And it's not. It's not. So we got to get away from those things if we really want to be powerful creators. And if you need help, reach out to me, livelifegolden@gmail. Reach out to me. The abundance activation would really help you in that 30-day commitment or 21-day commitment to meditation. But to start cleansing your energy field from these substances that you may be addicted to, yes, but let me just talk about addiction for a little bit, even addiction from emotions. Our bodies are amazing. And in 3 days, your body will, it regenerates, right? 3 days it regenerates and it doesn't need that stuff anymore. So, yeah, you got to get through a couple of days, maybe an uncomfortable week. If you've been doing this for a long time and it's really got a hold on you, it may take a little bit longer. The detoxing may have some effects. You may have some effects from detoxing, but I'm telling you right now, it is so freaking worth it. If you've got a really intense relationship with alcohol, it may take longer than 30 days to get the real benefits. But again, totally worth it to take your power back and start becoming a stronger manifester by letting go of low vibe substances that are really just, they're messing with your creation power. Just give it a rest. 30 days. Amazing stuff can happen and you won't know unless you try. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Okay, so here's the wounds and triggers. That's your call to go within and start journaling. So this is like really intense emotions that you have. Maybe it's intense depression. It's about getting to know yourself and get curious about where these energies started and why you continue to tune into them. So where does this come from is a great question. First of all, like, what am I feeling? Somebody cancels on you, you're feeling abandonment. What am I feeling? I'm feeling abandonment. Oh, okay, where does this come from? And meditate on it. Take some deep breaths, go within, and you'll get your answers. Oh, and things may pop up, and they might not pop up at that time. They may pop up later where you're going to have a memory that goes, oh my goodness, like these girls, like, or these boys or whatever, totally abandoned me on the playground. Usually they're playground wounds. I had a girlfriend break up with me in 10th grade, or I had a boyfriend break up with me in my senior year. All of those things are still in your experience if you've never gone in and worked with them. So, do I want to keep feeling this way? I love, love that question, because you don't have to keep feeling that way. And when you ask that question, it's like, do I really want to feel this way? Do I want to keep getting evidence of this? Oh, no, I don't. That starts to get you to take your power back. Can I release this and let it go? There may be things you need to do. You may need to write letters to people and burn them. You may need to let some relationships go. You may need to put up some boundaries. You may need to start living your life for your truth and for what you really need for yourself, instead of living your life for everybody else. And what is the base of the thoughts that keep driving this emotion in my life? Connect with that. What is the base of the thoughts? So is it, I'm not good enough? Nobody loves me? I'm so lonely. I'm so bored. I'm so depressed. I'm so anxious. I have anxiety. Whatever those I am statements are, take a look at them, because they are driving that energy. Abandonment, resentment, feeling unworthy, not good enough. Getting to the base of the emotion and facing it will help you heal it and dissipate it. All right, so here we go. How do we tune into a better emotional state? This is what you do when you don't feel good, when you feel off, you can feel the anxiety creeping in, or you hit a trigger. You have to stop. You have to stop, because if you're running on, this constant roller coaster ride and you're constantly busy and you never take a look at what's going on within, you will never have control over your life. So you have to stop. If you can journal about how you're feeling, it's the best way to actually release stuff and to get in touch with it and start to create more awareness around it. You can meditate. Gratitude is amazing. That's something we did in our abundance activation. Tuning into what is good in your life will help tune you out of what's not. The more you tune into what you do have, the less you're going to pay attention to what you don't have. And before you know it, you're going to have the things you want because you're tuned into all the goodness and not the stuff that is holding you down or holding you back. Nature, love me some nature. I actually have a friend on Facebook who lives in another country, and he was super duper depressed, and then he started walking again. I've shared. I have a show with Nigel Jones. He does 9 km by 9 a.m. And he actually stopped drinking. This was how he stopped drinking and started walking every day. It's like 5 miles every day, and how being out in nature tunes you back into your well-being. 20 to 30 minutes, just take a walk in nature, take a walk in the woods if you can. Spend some time in the sunshine. All of that stuff will renew you back to your well-being. Music, high vibration music, not low vibration music, not music that makes you feel angry, not music that makes you feel sad, music that literally brings you up. It has a higher vibration. How do you know? You know by how you feel when you listen to it. And I know a lot of people are into this like heavy metal, not a lot of people, not a lot of people in my life, but heavy metal and things that, are angry and screaming, and they think they love it. And it's just an addiction to adrenaline and an addiction to anger. And it really is. If you look at vibrations, they are very low on the scale. So if you love heavy metal music, okay, but get in touch with why, because that's not necessarily going to tune you into the love and the joy and the appreciation that you want in your life. All right. So remember who you are. Recognize how far you've come. Look at your past manifestations, because your mind always likes to work on problems. So it's going to make you forget all the great things that you've done or how far you've come. Talk to an inspiring friend. Listen to this show or the Golden Hour. That will always give you a transference of energy. In fact, I'm going to promote my TV show even more, which is on E360 TV. I'm also live on YouTube on the Manifest to Live Life Golden channel, because I got a new energy there. There's a new energy there. I'm on TV, I'm live, and the transference of energy feels different. I feel different when I'm doing this show. Not that I've lost energy for this show, because I absolutely haven't. This show goes deeper than that show for now. And they probably will meld eventually, but knowing that there's something else for you to connect with that can actually give you a transference of energy, which means when after you listen to it, you feel better. If you feel better, you create better. All right, do something nice for yourself. Yeah, why not? Stop beating yourself up and do something nice for yourself. Go get your nails done, go get a foot massage, take a bath. You can do things that don't cost money, but just do something nice for yourself or someone else. There's such a thing called helper's high, that when you start helping other people, this is why in AA they have people that sponsor other people, because when your eyes are on helping someone else, first of all, you heal. You learn by teaching, and by supporting someone else, you're not focused on the things that aren't going well in your life. So it really helps. So helper's high is a thing. Get off social media. People, the dopamine release that you're getting from TikTok, from Instagram, from Facebook, from being on social media all the time, that dopamine is being depleted through that. So with your 30-day substance cleanse, maybe we do a 30-day social media cleanse. I don't know. I'm not going to get off of it because I have businesses on there, and I'm sure that's too much to ask for you, but just limit your time of that dopamine, because you really want to conserve the dopamine you have, because those are the happy hormones. Those are the ones that we really want to capitalize on. Do a cleanse from low vibe substances. Give me 30 days. Let me see what happens in 30 days. It's so worth it. You can do 30 days. Anybody can do 30 days. I mean, seriously, just to see if it is causing detriment. And if it isn't, go back to it. But if it is, something to pay attention to. Do something creative. So whenever we're in the creative energies, we're in higher states of consciousness. This is when you're doing things and you lose track of time. You're in that mode of higher states of consciousness. It's kind of like being an alpha while doing something. Start something you keep putting off. Start that exercise program, start that business, create a website, start researching what really jazzes you up. Pay attention to what rings your bells and gets you excited and do more of that. And if you don't know what that is, it's time to start getting to know yourself and start paying attention and um start trying new things to try to figure that out. Uh, exercise. Exercise will always give you a rush of serotonin and all the good feeling hormones. It'll tune out of that. I should be doing that stuff. I should be exercising every day. If you're taking your physical body for granted, I'm going to implore you to stop doing that. I don't care what age you're at. Our physical body is important because our physical health is everything. Don't wait until you have a detriment in your physical health to actually really be grateful for it and really do the most with it. Exercise, a walk, a run, weight training, all of that stuff is going to up your serotonin levels. Sunshine, I can't say enough about sunshine. Sunshine's gotten a bad rap because of this cancer stuff. You need sunshine. 10 minutes a day of that vitamin D will up level your vibration and also up level your immune system. So it's really important. All right. And then I want you to remember this. You are here for all of it. You came here for all of it. You came here for the challenges. You came here for the growth, the expansion, and the joy. Okay. You came here for the joy. Life is not meant to suck or be hard or constantly make you miserable. That's not what life is here for. Life is here for you. It is here to help you clarify by your desires what you want to create. It is here to be expressed by you and to be navigated by you to become more. Rise up to the challenges instead of letting life beat you down. There is no magic pill for happiness. It begins within you. The stories that you drive within you. Start paying attention. Okay. Get curious and start looking for things that interest you, for things that make you happy, for things that really get you excited. If you love dogs, start a dog walking business. I have a friend that just did this. And she let go of a life-sucking job and she took a huge leap of faith and she started walking dogs and she's loving life. And I love, love, love watching it. It's such a testament to letting go of things that are sucking the life out of you and trusting and having faith that everything's going to be okay and that what you really love and what you really feel passionate about will be supported by the universe. If you love art, start painting. If you love writing, if you want to write a book, 3 pages a day. I tell this to people all the time. It's 15 to 20 minutes. Wake up a little bit early. Just start writing. Just start writing. Doesn't matter if it's good. Doesn't matter if it's bad. Don't judge it. Just write because amazing stuff will come out of you and you will connect with higher consciousness and you will create something amazing. If you want to lose weight, get off your butt. Get off your butt and start moving. None of this is rocket science, okay? This is not rocket science. It all begins with you. It all begins with you. And if you don't feel like doing it, I get it. You just need to freaking do it. That's the thing about our minds is it's going to try to keep us small and safe and the same. And when we say enough is enough and we get up and we start doing the things that our heart is calling us to, incredible things happen, things we could have never imagined, miracles and amazing things will start happening for you. So stop putting your life off and start living, like really living. Stop giving your power to substances. Stop giving your power over to your mind. Start taking that power back by deciding that you can, by deciding that you're a powerful creator, by deciding that you are here to create and that you are here to let life be expressed through you in the most fantastic way possible. Stop giving your power away to substances or thoughts and emotions that don't support your joy. You are better than that. You are better than that, my friends. You are so much better than anything you've lived up until this point because there's more to come. There's more to come through you. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling, I promise you that at this moment in time, every single thing can change for you. If you just heed my advice, Start meditating, start paying attention to your thoughts, and start deciding which emotions do I want to be a part of. A lot of the emotions that we feel, especially emotions that we feel towards other people, like let's say you're in a relationship and that person is not doing what you want them to do, whether it's a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a child, your parent, that person that's not doing what you want them to do is doing you a favor, because what they're showing you is you have to start working with yourself, because you can't control the people around you. What you can control is the signal that you send to them. You can tell somebody all day, every day, what they're doing wrong. If you really want to change what you're getting from them, you have to take your eyes off of that. And you have to start putting your eyes on what they do right and what they do that's good and what's good about them. That helps you take your power back, because you're no longer tuning into frequencies with people that make you unhappy or make you keep telling them what they have going wrong. Start noticing what they have going right. Start really focusing and tuning into the frequency of everything that's good about them. And I promise you, your relationship would change. One of the greatest ways to shift relationships is every day to do a positive aspect sheet on this person, whoever it is. Do it on yourself even. Wow, that's an even greater idea. Do it on yourself. What's the positive aspects of me? We do a bit of that in the abundance thing. What's good about me? What's good about me today? What's going to be greater about me today? What's good about them? When you do this, you're dialing your radio station to give you more things that you want to see. It works so much better than putting a spotlight on what you don't like. I promise. All right, guys, that's my show for today. A little bit long. Woo, we went a little long today. I would love for you to check out the Golden Hour on E360 TV. Just search for Achieve TV. It's also on Apple, it's on Roku, it's on YouTube, it's all over the place. But tune into the Golden Hour, because I'm going to give you it's more, I don't know, it's different. You got to check it out. It's different and it's awesome and it's super fun and I love doing it, and I love that I can have guests on it. If you are someone that would like to be a guest on the show, there is a fee involved, but contact me at livelifegolden@gmail.com, because I'm setting up my schedule for guests, and it gives you like millions of people to view what you're doing. And I also put up links and I share what you do. In fact, my last show with James Junta was so much fun. He's a hypnotist. We did a really great show together last week. That was episode 2. Season 1, episode 2. Check out James's show, because it was wonderful. And we had a great time together. And we got really good feedback from the show. So check that one out. They are archived. So if you can't get on live at the 12 Pacific time, they are archived. So you can watch them. And if you can't find it anywhere, look on my YouTube lives, because they're there. But it should be a pretty easy thing for you to grab onto. So that's the Golden Hour. My abundance activation begins. And if you want the link for that, you can go to livelifegolden.com. Their 21-day abundance activation is on there. We start May 1st. I can only take 20 people. And that link will actually be on the Golden Hour as well if you missed it. And I'll put it in the show notes as well. All right. I love you guys so much. Peace out.